Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to an all-new ADSR live stream. If you don't know, my name is Tatro. I'm a music producer, content creator, educator, and I'm usually hanging out here on the ADSR channel on Wednesdays for our production challenge, which we're doing here today. And on Fridays, we also have a fun production concepts stream where we go over different, foundational stuff that has to do with music production. So welcome. Thank you for joining us on stream today. What's up, David Turner over on Facebook? What is going on, Drummy Geo, Nat, Let's Music Your Life. My dad is in the chat. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today is, of course, our production challenge where we feature tracks from the community, our Discord community, which you can join for free. Use the link in the description. You can join us and take on a different challenge every week to try to push yourself beyond your creative limits, let's say. And every week we have a really good time. We want to here at ADSR switch up the format of these streams. And I initially said I wasn't going to switch up the format today. I was going to wait till next week. But you know what? I'm switching up the format today. So here's how today's production challenge is going to work. And we're going to workshop it, and you all can let me know if you like this format. Usually we just pick three tracks to showcase. What that ultimately leads to is 3 of the strongest tracks get showcased, and there's not really room for feedback. So what I'm going to do today is we're still going to have those 3 standout entries. We're still going to honor those. We're still going to showcase 3 producers from the community that will get cool prizes like a $100 ADSR store credit, as well as a cool t-shirt, a glow of the winner in the Discord chat. But I also have another collection of songs that I would really like to provide feedback for, because many of you submit music and probably are looking for feedback on it. So that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to start with a collection of songs that I want to give feedback on, and then we're going to move on to our top 3 songs of the week. So I hope that sounds good to everybody, and I hope this sort of different feedback approach is cool. So you'll all let me know what you think. But that means, of course, that we're not going to get to, I probably won't put my hands on a keyboard until at the end of the stream when we talk about next week's challenge, which I will, of course, announce to you right now. Next week's challenge is to flip one of your old tracks into a new genre or concept. So this should be a fun one. If you haven't entered into our production challenge yet, please consider joining now. This is going to be a fun one. I'm going to try to take this on at the end of the stream today. But of course, I want to start showcasing more tracks from the community, and we will do that today, of course. So like I said, this first batch of tracks we're going to go through, we may not listen to the whole thing, but what I really want to do is provide a little bit of feedback, skip around in the track a little bit, and give you all, something to work with. Then after we do that, we'll move on to our top 3 tracks, and I'll tell you what those top 3 winner circle will kind of get later. All right, so let me actually start pulling some of these tracks up. So what do I have? It seems like I have 4 tracks to kind of give a little bit of critique to today. So let's go. I'm not sure where I want to start. Okay, let's start here. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Oh, by the way, the challenge this week was to make I'll show that, I should at least, was to make a track with the free pack, Producer Life. For ADSR's birthday. So thank you all for taking on that challenge. If you haven't yet, I believe it's still free on the site. Well, from what I'm looking at, it is still free on the site. Producer Life. A lot of really great samples in this pack. Maybe you should go pick it up for free. Why not? Go do it. Happy birthday, ADSR. Thank you all for taking on this challenge this week. So that was kind of the challenge this week, and that's all the tracks we're reviewing today. We're sort of going off of that theme. Okay, so the first track I would like to give some valuable feedback for, or at least attempt, is by none other than Rashane or Copacetic Kid, I should say, with Birthday Marathon. Let's give a quick listen to this, because this track is it's off to a good start, has a good starting point. So first of all, Rashane, I of course know that you are a lot of the times producing with a rapper in mind, producing with a top line in mind, which is definitely evident in this. I would say all the elements of a strong track are here. You've got the melody on top, you've got a good chord progression. I would say the drums need a little meat. That kick needs a much more rich low end, a much more robust low end. That is one of the weaker points of the track. Then this 808 comes in. And I think what's happening is the 808 is also not deep and rich enough. That sort of shorter 808 style is super hard to get to sound good because it sounds a bit too much like your kick. So I don't know what's going on in the track here, if you have both a kick and an 808, or if you just swapped. When the 808 came in, that became the kick. But you should find more sounds that complement each other. So a shorter, snappier kick paired with a longer, boomier 808, for instance, might have worked better. But like I said, I can hear a top line on this for sure, a rapper. The other thing is something I talk about a lot on that kind of helped me level up my tracks. The way I started looking at it is, how are we connecting these sections? You notice that in this transition here, you have actually a pretty good dropout. I do like the idea of the dropout. That's effective. But one thing I also noticed is there's no transitional sounds in between these sections. It would be great to have just a nice riser, a nice downlifter, really connect the sections to each other. That vocal sample that you use in the background, by the way, really good use of that. I love the distortion, the reverb. I would bring that out a little, but I would also not sleep on that sound and maybe use it for a bit of a transition. That could work as a riser almost. Now I'm second guessing if it is a vocal sample. And as soon as you can, just get somebody on this track, or you get on the track, you know? How long you gonna make tracks for that need a top line, but without top lines, you know? And I know it's not easy, but as soon as you can, if you can get people on your tracks, it helps your whole vision come to life. For sure. Yeah, connect the dots on these. Feel free to do a little bit more spatially. I feel like some people do too much spatially, a little too much panning, a little bit too much movement, but everything in this track feels a little bit dead center. Maybe there's a little bit going on in the percussion, but some of these synths, some of these complementary synth parts could probably be a little bit this way, a little bit that way. Don't go crazy. Don't go 50 that way and 50 that way on some things, but a little bit more space. Like the chords, especially in general, could be wider, or the little delay that's on them could be a little bit wider and bouncier. Because don't forget, since you are writing this with the top line in mind, the thing that's going to be dead center is the vocal. So always have that in mind, that you're going to want to leave space in the middle for that vocal, which means everything else kind of moves around to make room for that. But Rashane, thank you for always submitting tracks and always being a supportive community member. And thank you for submitting that track, Birthday Marathon. I appreciate you. Let's keep going. Future collab's going to be lit, says Wislow. Exactly, right? All right. I want to keep it moving, chat. I am not trying to waste any time. I want to get as many people some feedback as possible. So here we go. The next one. Our very own, near and dear in our hearts, Ed Oyama. So Ed is really good at these chops. Listen to these. Starts off really strong. That candy pop kind of vibe with the sample chop and that piano. But again, similar to the last track, you are losing me at the 808. 808's got to be big and boom. Listen, they don't got to be, because I know there'll be one person in the comments that says this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But in this track especially, I want a dirty, banging 808, because everything else is like a little bit crunchy in this track. It's a sample chop, and then we get into this like different harmonic stuff happening here. But the 808 just sounds very sterile. That is the one thing that's really holding this track back, for sure, in my mind. However, I love your use of the percussion, and like I said, I like the sample chop as well. And again, that lead is so dead center. So not just dead center, but it's also like a little lost in the mix. Listen back to that fluty lead. Where's the high end? All the high end in this track right now is that triangle that's bouncing between my ears. I think that triangle is the loudest thing in the mix. And it really cuts through. Pretty much louder than anything else. Like, obviously it's a triangle, so we don't perceive it as louder than everything else, but I think objectively, it could just be my headphones. I think I did this in 1 hour last night. Very good work for 1 hour, I would say. And for having a newborn at home. DJ Shadow Passar the Instrumentalist vibe. Cool. 2-3 hour speedrun beat. Hashtag dad life. Yeah. But yeah, Ed has been getting better and better at these sort of like very frenetic, energetic beats, and I think that's really cool. But the major piece of feedback I had for him is definitely the 808s. Needs a more robust low end. I found that a lot of, as I was listening to these tracks, a lot of the things I wanted to say had to do with the mixing. I feel like that's everybody's next step. I mean, it was for sure my next step. Thank you, Ed, for that submission, by the way. Because what happens when we learn music production is we're also basically learning music at the same time. So you're either getting really good at writing good musical ideas, or you're getting good at, the technical side, like the mixing and stuff. Usually it's impossible to get great at both at the same time. So there's always this like game of catch up that has to get played. Get good at writing the music, and your mixing skills down here. Get better at mixing. Start bringing your music skills up. It's a constant catch-up game. So I'm here for all that. Let's keep it rolling. I have 2 more tracks for this little feedback session here. And this one is by an artist we've actually featured on here before. Aika with 1987. I'm a sucker for these lo-fi beats. Let's listen to a little bit before I talk too much about it. Please go give Aika a follow if you can. Very very diverse selection of music from Aika we've heard. Okay, so first of all, it's called 1987, which is fine. It definitely says, okay, we're gonna have a chill lo-fi beat. I would say, however, my biggest piece of feedback for this track, I think it's a mood. If you're looking to listen to this kind of music that is processed in this very specific way, fantastic, more power to you. However, one of the issues is, as the track evolves, listen to that percussion on top. That percussion's not going through the same kind of filter that everything else is going. I'm getting more top end from that percussion. So basically my main feedback for Aika, even though I love the richness of the lo-fi sound, is that it's a little too much. It never grows out of that. I think especially in the drums, where's the low end? It's almost not there. And that's one of the things for me in making lo-fi and listening to other lo-fi tracks and trying to match up with all the big tracks that I love. Those kicks hit. It might be lo-fi, like low fidelity, but that kick is hitting. So I would just definitely beef up the kick. I feel like that's all I'm saying today, but beef up the kick for sure. I think, and then the key change, of course, is nice. It's just all kind of like one chunk of sound, you know what I mean? Which I guess is that tape saturated, condensed lo-fi sound. This is EQ with my hands, if you couldn't tell. And I think this track would be stronger if you pulled back on that a little bit. Not too much. Maybe just do this for an intro. I believe there even is an RC20 setting that is like for breaks and stuff. And it kind of sounds like this, but it's only supposed to be meant to be used in the moment. But peace and love. If this is the very specific effect you're going for, fantastic. But it is a very specific sound that I think this track could benefit from a little less. Yes, you use some lo-fi elements. Maybe put that heavy lo-fi effect on one pad sound, but let everything else ascend and float. For sure. That's what I think. But I love a good lo-fi vibe, Ica. So peace and love. If you love how it sounds, great. If you want to take my advice and maybe pull back a little bit on some of the lo-fi elements, I think that could work too. I think it might be more appealing to a wider audience if you care about that. All right. Excellent segue to announce next week's mixing stream with Sean Devine. Yes. Like I said, many of you are catching up on your mixing skills for sure. So please, with peace and love, attend that stream. The link is in the chat. JML says, I didn't know I needed a plugin until I needed it. LOL. That's funny. Amen. Like that track. Awesome. Hello, everybody that joined in chat after I already said hello. Okay, this next one I think is from a newer community member. Yeah, this is actually their first ADSR Producer Challenge. So let's go give a listen back to it. From the beginning, please. The beginning. Okay. SubZero. Third beat ever made. Which, of course, we respect the hustle. Third beat ever made. We're entering into a production challenge. Amazing. Okay. Congrats to you, SubZero, on taking on beat making and being already on your third beat. And you say in your caption, practice, practice, practice. I could not agree more. Using Serato Studio as my DAW and loving it. That's awesome. We've got some great Serato Studio videos on the ADSR YouTube channel you should check out. Okay, so the thing about this track is there are sections of it that work really well. Like this section, for instance. And why? Why do I say that? Because there's so not too much going on. There's a little sus sounds in the background there, little ethereal sus sounds. But in general, this section, simple beat, simple chords, simple bass line. So my thing that I pose to you, beginners out there, not just SubZero, is when you're just starting out, less is more. Because a section like this, there's a lot of things battling here. There's mixing issues, like there's some crazy stuff with the drums happening. Like the kick has a ton of high end in it. Then there's melodic things happening where these melodies are just running into each other, and I might have to say that the things that are happening are not all in the same key, I think. So for beginners, when you're making something, of course you can have fun and experiment. But the way you're going to get to making listenable music faster is by keeping things simple, 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 simple. And even if that means you start not simple and you work in a subtractive manner, meaning you throw a bunch of things at the wall to see what sticks and then pull things back. That is also a good way to work if you do want to go head first into production and having a good time and just trying a bunch of things in your DAW. I think that's totally valid. Then work backwards and pull some things out. So again, this section doesn't work. I mean, this section works just like this section kind of works too. And I like that you actually have two distinct sections here. This much deeper section with lower notes being played, and then this section where that melody gets its chance to shine. I can't really sing it, but where that falls apart are in these kind of later sections where the chords are just a bit off. So SubZero, check out a little bit of music theory if you can. Just learn a little bit about chords in the background. Simple, simple, simple. Keep it simple. Use Try not to use synths. I'm not sure if this is the case here, but don't use synths that when you play one key, they play an interval, because that's going to have implications for your harmonies as well. So just be careful with that. Simplicity. If you're a beginner, keep things simple. Maybe 4 core elements, your drums, your bass, your melody, and then some chords in the background, and then build from there. Make sure those 4 key food groups are taken care of first before you just kind of throw everything on. Simplicity, if you can. But SubZero, please continue your production journey. Please keep submitting so we can keep giving you feedback. And yeah, your third beat, don't stop. The only way to get to making good beats is to start on beat 1 and get to beat 100, and then get to beat 500, and then get to beat 1,000, you know? Put in that 10,000 hours. Awesome work. So that was the collection of tracks that I had for feedback. And I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let us know what you think of doing these production challenges this way, doing a round of feedback and then featuring some artists. Because now we have 3 tracks to listen to that were sort of the standouts of the week. So I'm happy to showcase these artists' tracks in full with very little talking. And I will remind you that these 3 featured submissions that we're about to go through will receive a $100 ADSR store voucher to use on sounds and samples, a limited edition ADSR T-shirt, it's purple again, bragging rights with the production challenge winner role in the Discord, and the standout will get some extra plugins, but we'll get to that at the end. Nonetheless, let's keep it moving, and let's listen to our first standout finalist entry here. So I already see this person in chat, our good friend Wislow with Sunset and Lahana. Let's give a listen. Dark beginning. Shout out Wislow. We love a good, wholesome wife and husband pick. Very cool vocal samples. That bass is so thick. Dramatic ending. Decapitator and Fab Filter MB on the bass. Awesome. And I love that little ending there with the crackle. I just want to talk a little bit about why I chose this as in the winner circle here in number 3. First of all, that bass is beautiful. Also, what I will say is good structure goes a long way in keeping your listener interested. I think it's another big standout thing from, starting as a beginner amateur to moving on to being a little bit more intermediate and advanced. We're so worried about getting our musical ideas out, getting that right, getting some mixing stuff right, and then what do we forget about? Oh, our arranging. This track has very clear sections. Not just clear sections, but clear sections that move between each other organically, don't tread on the same material over and over again, or if they do use some material that we've heard before, they build on it in a certain way. So we hear James use a lot of different transitional sounds in this. We also hear rhythmic changes, like this 8 bars that's playing right now behind me is not that different than the previous. However, it just added one more sort of rhythmic percussion element to make things go a little bit faster. Have a little bit more momentum, I should say. Now this section I felt a little sus about because the lack of attack on the arpeggiated synth almost makes it sound like it's falling out of time. But I also almost like that. It's like dreamy and washy, and I think it's okay to make it feel like it's kind of falling off a little bit in a moment. The choir harmonies could be improved here. However, I do think the general epicness of building up with a massive choir is very cool. And you do really build up to an epic ending here. However, I think it could be even more epic. First of all, I think those vocal samples can be brought down a little bit and moved over left and right. I don't think it should be front and center because you have a melody that's already front and center. Dun, 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 and everything else is window dressing to that melody. That said, that melody, when it comes around here again in the end, you should have doubled it on something. That could have been one thing. Maybe another synth an octave lower that has a longer release time instead of like a short bell sound. Just layer it so it's like that melody transformed one level up. Or maybe you could have added a little bit of reverb and ping pong delay to that bell so that it in itself has the illusion of a longer release time and feels bigger and grander than the last time I heard it. That would be my feedback for this song. However, I think you did a great job on this track, James. Thank you so much for submitting. And appreciate you. Please go give a follow to Wislow over on Bandcamp. Support the artist if you can. And thank you for that entry. You get yourself the $100 voucher for sounds and samples. Love that. Thank you, James. Okay. 2 more finalists here. 3 featured submissions is what I should be saying. All right. I do try to spread the love here, by the way. I try not to pick like the same winner all the time, or try not to pick the same winners all the time. However, I think as this community continues to grow, like people advance at different speeds, always looking to spread the love. So this next artist is an artist that we have actually featured before, but their production is undeniably really, really good. And they did a great job using the Producer Life pack. So I want to give a great shout out to none other than our friend Hydrotech. Let's give a listen. Very, very strong entry. This track's a banger. Now that's an 808 that makes sense in this context. time switch up. Go show some love to Hydrotech's page. Another fantastic track from Hydrotech. Everybody, thank you so much. Hydrotech, I believe that's Let's Music Your Life in the chat. It's a great track. It seems undeniable that it's a good track from everybody's reception in the chat. So yes, why is this a standout featured track on today's stream? The production level is very high quality. The mixing is pretty good. The structure and the techniques used are also very good. I want to relate this back to a couple other things that I've already said. First of all, we have a brilliant intro here that builds so cleverly. You notice we have a lot of high-end content here. Very high, almost shrill sounding high instruments that immediately go away. But then we get that big deep 808. So it's like a balance scale. One thing gets taken away, we get one new thing introduced. So it doesn't feel like a lack of momentum. Introduction of a percussive, momentous synth. And then this use of silence and build up here. Like, just sit there and dissect that riser. It's the synth and that vocal sample running through some, they're filtering in. There's some ping-ponging. Not sure if they're chopped or if there's a delay on them. And then the other brilliant thing that happens here, we're feeling like a 4 to the floor vibe here. It's actually, we're feeling a half speed. 3, 4, 1, 1, 2. And then it switches up, which is so effective. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple change. Of course, there's another instrument that comes in there, but we go from having 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's the same in general music material behind it, but that shift, it's basically a gear shift into a higher gear to go a little bit faster, really amps up the listener. Now, I think it could have some feedback for this track, I will say. Could have been amped up more towards the end. And what I actually wish, because this music is really dense, there's a lot happening. Like after we get through the intro, there's so much happening the whole time. I wish you maybe used a little bit of the magic from the intro, especially with this silence. Or at least built a section in here that could be a little bit more subdued, or put in some really aggressive chops where there are just like moments of chopped silence or something. Like bring a percussive element or a rhythmic element in that really hits hard and cuts and moves kind of quickly and aggressively. I could have used that little bit of relief throughout the ending of the track, but then you have a great outro here as well. Again, putting in some thought, adding some character. I notice a lot of people are doing like a lo-fi outro. Maybe that just has to do with the samples though. I think this was really interesting. It started as kind of a lo-fi trap vibe, and then I added more elements from some other genres. I think it's interesting the way you kind of start and then what you ended up with here. Very intense, very aggressive in a good way, very high energy. Hydrotech, another great entry. What's going on? Fantastic job. All right. Let's keep it moving because we have one more featured submission to check out. And like I said before, I do try to spread the love amongst the community. So the track that I picked for a standout today will, of course, get the $100 store voucher, just like the previous two entries. Limited edition ADSR T-shirt. But this standout entry is also going to get Model T, a Fire, and DynoMod piano instruments from Sampleson. So thank you, Sampleson, for providing those to our winner today. And what I was going to say is, first of all, this is from Google Drive, so I have nothing to show you on screen. You guys are just going to have to look at my face while we listen. I apologize. I hear a lot of potential in this track. Is this track maybe as hype and clean as Hydra's? Is the structure as nailed down as Wislow's? Maybe not. However, this person is not a track from which I've heard. I haven't heard a track from them before, but I hear a lot of potential in this person's music. So I would like to showcase them, and I would like to give them the standout featured role today. So thank you so much. I believe this is by EO Second A. I'm not sure which one is the artist name and which one is the song title. So EO Second A. Let's give a listen. I feel like I have good feedback for this track too. So let's listen back to it. This reminds me of a common beat, this piano sample. Now this bass line is kind of where it caught my attention. This is a decent bass line. Second A. And then the drums build in a very nice way. Very crunchy sounding. And then the switch. Hi, Michael G. See, that little attention to detail as well. I'll go back. Alright, so in an attempt to spread the love, chat, I picked this as my featured standout entry this week. You may agree, you may disagree, but I'm going to point out a couple of reasons why. And I guess we can go back to the regular camera now. Few things. Obviously, it's not the cleanest mix you've ever heard. There are some mixing flaws, like I think especially when the kick comes in. The kick is struggling. Look up some kick tutorials. Peace and love. However, it nails the structure in a similar way to what I was talking about with Wislow. And I apologize because this is Google Drive, so it's very hard for me to skip around the track. Apparently, it's very hard for me to even play the track. Yeah. All right, it's a very strong sample to start, of course. I'm not going to give them too much credit for that, though. The other piece of feedback I have is these risers sound very, very stretched and warped in not a good way. So try to find risers that fit. If you're having trouble stretching the risers to be the right amount of time, add a giant big washy reverb on them and cut it when it comes in. instead of just trying to stretch out this piece of audio. Okay, but first of all, this little like reggaeton kind of feel is very interesting, and it starts off a little bit weak, to be honest. However, this bass line comes in, and I really like this bass line. It sounds like this person knows what they're doing with bass lines. It's slightly more advanced than your average bass line, in my opinion. And then we're switching pretty much every 4 bars into getting something new, like this nice riser, snare riser, which will eventually go into a B section, or a heavier drum section, which again, it's not that much different material from what we previously heard, but adding that higher energy with those chunkier drums, it sounds pretty good, I think. There's also this width thing happening, and here's the B section that I was anticipating. Just completely switching to basically new musical ideas, but it fits in the same world, I think. It's an interesting on-the-dime switch up. Now, when we transition out of this section, I wish there would have been a moment of silence palette cleanser instead of going right back into the groove. Now listen here. It's gonna happen right here. That is such a simple thing. Let me articulate it properly. Just losing the low end there for a moment. It almost makes it like a drum fill, but it's not a drum fill. It's just basically losing the low end. No bass, no kick there. And for some reason, it's just very, very effective. It's how you can subtly change your sections, not just adding more things to the basket or not just putting a crazy sound or whatever. It's like, how do you tweak the existing sound so that it can go a little bit further? So second A, thank you for this submission. I'm happy to feature you as our standout entry this week. Congrats to you, my friend. Second A is, of course, with our past 2 featured artists this week, receiving the $100 voucher for the ADSR store, a limited edition ADSR T-shirt, bragging rights with the Production Challenge winner role in Discord, and that standout one that we just heard from Second A. Second A will be receiving Fire, a Spectral modeled Rhodes piano bass, Model T, Spectral modeled 80s virtual piano, and DynoMod, audio effect VST for electric pianos. So, congrats to Second A. Thank you to everybody who submitted music this week. I really appreciate it. Switched up the format this week. I hope you all are vibing with it. Please let me know in the comments. What do you all think of this format that allows us to get to more entries? I would love to hear from you and what you all think of it. Now, don't forget, we are coming up on next week's challenge, which I, of course, am going to tell you because I lost the graphic for it somehow. How is that possible? Next week's challenge is to flip one of your old tracks into a new genre or concept. This is fun because you all know I have files and folders of unfinished projects that we could go breathe some life into. So if you haven't done a production challenge yet, it's a great time to start. Join our Discord. It's completely free. The link is in the description. I definitely want to hear from more of you. I want to hear some new voices, some new production magic in the community. So please go back into your folders, flip one of your older tracks into a new genre or concept. Now, having said that, we have about 15 minutes left of stream today. And you know, of course, that I'm going to help you get off on the right foot and show you that it can indeed be done because I am about to do it myself. Meaning that I have found this old project that I made quite some time ago. I believe in, maybe it's from February or May. It's a lo-fi beat. Let's just give a quick listen. It's nothing special, but I got pretty far with the arrangement. And I especially like this section. It's vibey. But of course, the challenge is to flip it into something else. So what can we even flip this into? I think probably the first step for me, so this is my original track. It's all MIDI though. I think what I should probably do if I am gonna remix this is find some key elements to remix. And what I'm actually gonna do really quick is, so I can always go back and go back to this project if I want. I'm just gonna make a new version of the project that I can start kind of destroying. So remember, we're remixing, we're doing something new with it. This is not to go back and finish a track that you didn't finish. This is to take a track that started one way and completely make it new. We want to hear what it sounded like before, and then we want to hear the after. Hence why I made a second project, so I could make the after. And I'm thinking, I don't know if this is true. I think I was going to go to straight to audio, but I'm not ready to do that yet. So what I'm actually going to do is start at bar 81. And I want to pump up the tempo a little bit. And we don't have to use all the same elements. You can, of course, use different elements. Let's hear this. So I want to make like a bit of a faster pop tune out of this, maybe. That's where my initial instinct goes. So let me just record that drum. Okay, I'm with that. Let's keep going. So for now, I'm literally just going to work with the material that I already have and with the instruments that I already have. But when I get inspired to add something new, I will 100% add something new. So for now, I'm just going to see how far can we get at this new tempo with the sounds that we already have. Aha. Well, I don't even hear this sound, but I could have automated it off probably. Ah, yes, the filter is automated. I'm just going to get rid of the filter. See, like, these chords are not bad. I just don't think it's the sound that I'm going for. So let me go ahead and duplicate that track. I think I can find something poppier in Serum. Let me get rid of that arpeggiator. And let's go ahead and find a good chord instrument. Maybe in that Ariana Grande Goes Project Pack. Already we're getting like a little bit moodier, which by the way, speaking of getting moody, on Friday's stream here on the ADSR channel, I will be live. We'll be talking all about how to add mood to your music. Sorry about that, chat. I don't know why that happened. I'm gonna not let that happen again though. That's something I've never heard before. Let me switch that preset. I apologize. Wow. So obviously the challenge was to indeed turn the track into something totally new. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm making it into something totally new. I hope that that doesn't happen again. Can I guarantee that it won't happen again? No. But I will do my best to act faster. I literally panicked. You ever just panic, chat? You hear like a loud sound or something like crazy terrible starts to happen, and you just don't know what to do. You just freeze. So I apologize. I'll act faster next time. Let me just make sure. I honestly think it's something with that instance of Serum. So I'm just going to load up a totally new MIDI track. But I hope you woke up. Right? I was going to go... see, that was actually an artistic choice. I was going for a John Cage sort of vibe. You don't know who John Cage is? Just look up John Cage. Loading a new serum. Let's jump out of that pack and go to a different pack. I know there was a serum update recently. I hope that that is not a result of an update. Okay. Whew. Eki over in Facebook got scared. I'm sorry. It scared me too, my friends. It was right in my ears. I think it was in my ears louder than it was on the stream. All right, I actually really like that. Let's duplicate that. And what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Let me grab my rack, audio processing rack. And I just want to get the low end out of this. Not too much though. Cool. I might even kill the reverb. FX, reverb off. I might dial back a little bit of my own reverb, but I don't want that too much. Just wanted a little bit less than what was already there. All right, cool. I'm happy with that so far. Let's clean up these chords. And I think what it probably calls for, let's make these chords a little bit louder. What I would like is one more layer of these chords on a separate instrument, or maybe just an octave up on the same instrument, but probably a different instrument. Could we even go... I probably want that second hit to be a chord, but maybe let's try with a different preset. No. Go back into that pack. Analog chords. I have an idea. Really just wash it out. Yeah, I don't mind that. I do want to bring in the sidechain though. Let's go ahead and sidechain this all. That's really going to have an effect on that synth that I just put in there. And I might do it even less sidechain on that initial chord pattern so that it really cuts through. All right. Give me a drum loop. Yeah, let's add a drum loop here. I don't want it to be as dense though, or as loud. So let me just pull back on that release. I'm going for almost like a... There we go. Almost like a 80s, early 90s kind of ballady vibe. All right. Automate the tempo. I'm not gonna automate the tempo, but we will be able to go back and listen. What was the old tempo? 85 or something? I wonder. No, I don't want to be too destructive to my it's what I already have. But nonetheless, peace and love. Give me a snare. I like that snare because it has a triangle on top. Let's go ahead and duplicate that. Just duplicated that drum thing thing there. I'm probably not going to do as much reverb on that. We don't have to scoop out as much low end either. And let's just get that on the 2 and 4. And here we are transforming that old lo-fi beat into this pop ballad. I'm consolidating this because I'm considering raising the pitch. That percussion loop for sure needs to be ducked and widened. I am going to pull back on the gain after I widen it though. Good. Little rim shot action. Shots, percussion. I can make that one work, I think. Duplicate that. Do you hear? I'm wondering, chat. Do you all hear the musical ideas in your head before you make them? Think when you get to that point, like I feel like when I'm making a song, sometimes I'm like pulling a song that already exists out of the air. Like it doesn't exist yet because I need to make it exist, but I can already hear it, you know? And that's when the magic really happens. Oh no. I do that all the time in Live 11. I don't know why. Can I please get this on the right beat? There we go. Yeah, and then some triangle would really make this a little more 90s-ish. Do I have the triangle sample that I'm looking for? Can I spell triangle is a better question. This might not be the triangle I want because it's called hard AF. In the sake of time, I will just give it a whirl, bring the volume way down, probably bring the pitch up, and sweep the low out, bring the reverb up. Am I adjusting the right thing? Yes. Maybe. Yeah, I would have to do some kind of pattern with a little bit of delay as well. Which, do I have a delay on here? Yes, I do. I could just do that on the downbeats and it would sound pretty good actually. So let me go ahead and do that. And okay, so this is actually a very fun experiment. I wonder like if like a deeper challenge would be like, okay, make 5 different tunes from one project. This is actually a really good exercise. There's a little too much reverb on everything. I don't know why I'm a little bit reverb crazy today. Last thing I'm going to do here is do the octave up chords. And then we have a nice little bouncy pop tune. I could see myself developing that a little bit more, but just to give you a point of reference, let's go back and listen to the original at its original tempo. So we're at 102. I believe we were at 82. This is what this material originally sounded like. You can use sounds from outside your project for your new idea, yes. but it should be largely built from the bones of your previous project. All right, so that's the old lo-fi beat. We beefed up the tempo to 102. Came over here and we made a little pop ballad situation. Not so bad. It's a nice four bar loop. I think I could take it to the next level with more time, of course, but we are out of time today. I apologize for that loud sound that happened earlier. It does not feel good in my ears. That's what I know. But thank you all for watching and tuning in for another production challenge stream. I hope you all enjoyed the new format today. I hope you all enjoyed hearing each other's music. And I know that I enjoy being a part of this great ADSR community. Producers all making music, all trying to get better, all showing up. Some of you show up week after week after week and are getting better and better. So I think that that's amazing. If you're not yet, join our Discord. It's totally free. Become a part of the community. Take on next week's production challenge in flipping one of your old tunes into something new, a new genre, a new style. And join us. It's a fun time. You know that you should be subscribed with notifications on the ADSR channel. Don't miss a future stream because there's lots of other great presenters here all week. There's a great mixing stream coming up. Don't forget about that. Also, I know Lena Smith has been on the channel a while. She's doing her amazing Modern Music Expo, which I got to speak at, which is really great. And I hope you all had a good time. I know I did. So that's going to be it. I'll be back here on this channel on Friday talking about how to apply mood to different music. I will be live on my channel tomorrow, Thursday, so you should tune into that. youtube.com/Taetro, Taetro. Add me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications. I put out a beat video today, playing Lumi on the beach. So yeah. All right, that's going to be it, everybody. I really appreciate you all. I can't wait to hear what you come up with for next week's challenge, and I will see you all either tomorrow live on my channel or on Friday live on this channel. That's going to be it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Taetro for ADSR. Have a good one.